you. Oh, we got a good one today. Live on the Grind TV, yo. I done brought all my beautiful sisters in today. We salute the military, our Club Bucket ambassadors, Dr. Pamela Wilson and Cheryl Woodhouse is in the front seat today. Produced by Mr. Markley. Oh! How you feeling, South Carolina? Let's pick it up, y'all. Folks, that's right. And you can see I'm rapping it hard today, yo. Folks, that's right, yo. Folks, that's right, folks. On folks from the front seat. Bayshore, Long Island, my hometown. I love you. New York, Staten Island, Charlotte, Queens. Brooklyn's in the house. Shout out to my man Milo V up there. Y'all holding it down, bro. Serge, you heard what's up, Donna? Pennsylvania. Oh, look out, Bristol, we coming at you. Philly, Funky, Philadelphia. I need you all to stay active on the chat line today. Dr. Pamela Wilson and Cheryl Woodhouse is with us. Club Funky ambassadors, ladies of the military. You know how we rolling. We want y'all to get hyped as we celebrate Funk Not Fight Month. Oh yeah, next week Peppermint Patty will be in the house. Clap your hands, Brendan, Ohio. What's up, Fuki? What's up, Patty? Detroit, Minneapolis, how y'all doing? We gonna get in sync, yo. Shout out to my guy, Funka Drill. He's gonna be coming on in August, yo. We're gonna keep our warm-up short today. All around the world for the funk. Oh. We're gonna stay in sync today. We're gonna sync up all our Club Funky kids all around the world for the funk. I gotta get this one in, Samoan. Doing the Humpty Hump, Humpty Hump, Hump. We got a good for you today, so we ain't gonna waste no time. Not on the Grind TV, Funk from the front seat. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're into our 4th year, yo. So we appreciate that. We appreciate everybody staying active with us, man. And y'all hang out with us today because we got a really good one for you coming in. We're beaming in from different parts of the United States. We got a lot of future Funketeers that want to know how to sign up, and we're going to show you how to do that. We got a lot of people that's, staying active on the chat lines even during the week. We appreciate that. My producer, Mr. Markley, and I are very, very appreciative and very grateful that all you guys tune in every week, all the time. Today, we got a special show. It's Funk Not Fight Month, and we declared that in the beginning of July. July is almost over, man. Can't believe it, yo. So, we got Pamela's with us, Dr. Pamela Wilson, and Cheryl Woodhouse is with us, both high execs in the Club Funketeer Ambassadors Cabinet, Larry Funkster Jones being the president and yours truly being the vice president. We also have, Mr. Markley, one of the best producers that I know. I'm producing this show for the 4th year, so we're pretty excited about that. We got a lot of good stuff, but first, I want to shout out Peppermint Patty and thank her, and I will show you guys this beautiful shirt. Check this out. All right, so Funk Not Fight. So, that's what it's about. All right. It's about all of that. And shout out to Tony Cam. Love you, bro. I'll see you next Saturday. Working really hard. Looking forward to it. And of course, the Napier Funk Army. So listen, anybody that's suffering from the fires, or if you're suffering from, the floods, or you have any type of traumatic issues going on in your family, illnesses, transitions, whatever, know that Funk from the front seat is behind you 100%. You can always reach out to one of us because our chat lines never close. I never shut my phone off. I haven't shut my phone off since like 1992. All right. So, and I know it wasn't invented yet, but I bounce back and forth. Without further ado, Dr. Pamela Wilson, where you at? And Funk Dance Ambassador Cheryl Woodhouse. We're going to bring in these beautiful ladies, these queens, these women of color in the military area.
Yes.
Y'all rocking the purple.
Yes.
This is the first time we all been together that I didn't think the purple, because I know y'all always rock the purple. So, but I had to match up the shirt. How you guys doing?
Doing good. How you doing, Zach?
I'm all right. I'm hanging
Are you
in there. Everything is
keeping it
beautiful.
funky?
We're doing awesome.
Everything is beautiful.
We're doing awesome.
I see you got purple tones in your hair too, both of you. Look at that. You see that, Mark?
I had to tap it with a little royal blue. That's one of my favorite colors too.
Not, you will be doing my ego good if you tell me you did all this just for the show.
Zach, this is exactly for the show. This is for the show.
Who's got it better than me?
This is it.
Mark, he taps me and he just texts me in the private chat. He said, "Yeah, I see that." We want you guys to know that these ladies are taking time out of their busy schedules to hang out with us. So please stay active on all their pages. Support what they do. This is a serious cause. And I'm going to let Cheryl, you can start out first. You're the Club Funk Day ambassador, line dancer, like the coordinator of a lot of stuff. And we'll get into your military backgrounds a little bit later. But just please let our audience know from your perspective about Funk Not Fight and what does it mean to you?
Absolutely. First of all, let me say thank you.
She's back. Yeah, she go.
First of all, let me say thank you for having us on your show, Zach and Mark. It's always a pleasure and a blessing to do these kind of things with you guys. And what Funk Not Fight means to me is to kind of dig in there, find out what's going on in your community. It doesn't matter whether it's your personal life, your outdoor activity life, your passion life, and your work life, and help fight what's going on around people. It could be mental health. It could just be, basic people just having a hard time. So when you say Funk Not Fight, when I put it in dance terms, I put the footwork into what the mind is saying, like, let's go. You know what I mean? Just dance it out. Do what makes your heart happy.
Yeah. Doctor?
Yes. Hey, Zach. Zach, you provided this platform for us to get funky and bring you what we need to tell you today. And it's all about spreading the peace. That's what we aim to do. And from my platform, I like to do it through education. And I want to make sure that anyone out there listening knows that it's going to be you that brings the funk out of you so we can get this world educated. And then we can have some really good funky times. That's what we're going for.
That's what's up. And, we're going to stay right there with Doctor for a minute. While we're on the subject, please give our audience and our new listeners a little bit of your background, a little bit of your military. Tell people who you really are, besides this beautiful queen dressed in purple on the screen right here.
Well, thank you, Zach. I really appreciate that. I'm Dr. Pamela Wilson, and I've served in the military 32 years. I enjoyed every second of it. And it's so fitting that we're talking about Funk Not Fight, because I was a member of the Chaplain Corps, and I still am. The Chaplain Corps is one in the military that brings that peace. And that's what we're trying to get that message. How can we take the message that we deliver and make people embrace it so they can see a purpose in what they have to bring to the table? Everyone has something to bring. And I'll tell you, it's not just me. It's me trying to drag that out of other people. But a little bit more about me. I am also vice president of the International Association of Military Women of Color. It's a veteran group. Our colors are purple, and we are so passionate about helping get young women and families and anyone integrated and work on those issues that pertain to women of color in the military. There are a lot of them, and they go unaddressed. And so we strive to do that as well. I also am a member of Wake Up, Stay Woke with Dr. Ife Williams on her platform of where she promotes peace and waking up, staying aware, knowing what's around you, knowing how to integrate, knowing how to get the best out of others. So I stay active with that and bring other people into a mentoring program. So it's not me, it's we. So that's what I do, Zach, and I enjoy doing it. Thank you for asking.
Absolutely. When we have you on the show and you guys come on a lot, man, you always bring something special to the energy. And here we are now going on 4 years together, and each time it's been like, surreal. Cheryl, I'm gonna let you jump in and you can kick it about a little bit about what you do and who you are and all those good things.
Absolutely. Again, yeah, I served in the military, came in '79, did 26 years. Just enjoyed, being around people, camaraderie through that dance up in there through the whole time. And Dr. Wilson, she was always been one of my dance mentors and followed me and kept up with me like she's second mommy. So of course I told her about the military. She came and visited, and then boom, I told her, Chaplain Corps would be the perfect MOS for you because you've always been that person helping our family and just always keeping us abreast and keeping us straight. So just going through that journey, we was able to serve together, and totally we collected a stories of 58 years collectively in the
We lost
military.
Cheryl for a minute, but she'll pop back on.
You lost me?
No, you good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So she just we just collectively came up through the ranks together, and we come together and just make sure we take care of people. Mentor, which is what my mother, who's her birthday's tomorrow,
Oh
is what
man.
she always, yeah. Give it up for that, definitely. And she's always instilled in us for take care of people, bring others along the way, but don't forget about yourself. So being in the military just taught me to be self-dependent, be a leader in this little tiny body. Believe it or not, it lets out a lot of roar. And that's only because I look for people to be the best they can be. Empowering women. That's just kind of been my thing my whole life. I just didn't realize it. I'm always grinding for women, mostly because in the military, it's male dominated. It was, but women are stepping up. They're taking roles. They're becoming leaders. And that's what we need to see. We need to see our world, our whole kings and all of our queens now with a big piece of diversity blended into this entire life and everything we do. And that's always been my push: empowerment, diversity, and dance, and bringing others along to do what you do. Because anybody can do what you do, they just need to practice.
That's
Right?
so dope, man. Good for you. And I had my wardrobe consultant. I popped off and back on so I could get my purple on. See, so I wasn't gonna go out like that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta follow. You know what I'm saying? So check this out. When we think of funk music, right? Dr. Pamela, tell us a little bit about why funk hits you in a certain way that say maybe some other genre may not. I know we all love all types of music, but what specifically is it about that funk?
Zach, it's the meaning behind the word. You say, do you want to get funky with me? They asked that question in the 70s, So I'm asking America, do you want to get funky with us? And when you say that word, people take the aura of scent and they take that to mean that's what we're talking about. But we're saying we want you to embrace with us. We want you to reach out and look at what we're doing and then find some passion for yourself and be your own you. We don't want you to be us. We want you to be you. And you do that by looking at everything inside of you and giving the best that you have to give and remembering not to fight and funk, not fight. That's our main goal. So anyway, I think it's essential that we build on people, we build on their esteem. And when we do that, we can get them to use a different analogy with that word funk that brings out the best in them. Yeah. So that's what it means to me right now.
Cheryl.
Yes, sir.
Same question, pretty much like when we think of the word funk, what was it that drew you to that? And you knew deep down at some point we were going to all be doing this together to help Bootsy and Patty and further the cause of funk all around the world. The preposition of the motion of hip, as Dr. Funkenstein would say. When you hear funk and it hits you a certain way, what does it really mean to you? And how did you get attracted to that music?
Well, starting off, just to be totally transparent with you, Tony brought the funk in our house all the time. He was a Michael Jackson, James Brown dancing thing all the time, and he was
Right.
constantly. He played Boosie's music. We had dances to Boosie songs when we was younger. So funk has always been a part of our life, mixed with everything that we do. So when you come up and grow up, and you hear more of the music, and you hear it a little bit more funkier than what you heard before, they say listen for what you don't hear. It becomes transparent that funk is everything. It could be a sad thing. It could be you pulling make yourself even greater. So the word funk means everything. And when Patty brought up the campaign and said, I want you guys to take it and do something with it, when I listened to the words, all I can hear was tap shoes. And that's what we grew up doing. So I said, well, let's do a tap dance to it. So we rehearsed and got a few of the dancers to do a tap dance. But then she broadened it, like, let's do anything to it. Just let people open up and figure out what's going on with them. Bring that out in whatever it is that you do. It could be dance, it could be tap, it could be hump, crip crop, hip hop, crunk. Just find your feeling of funk and bring it out. But let's not fight. And that's in all categories, because fight is just a word that everybody use when they're upset, they're angry. It doesn't have to be a physical fight. So when you beefing with people, just find the funk in that and a good reason not to do it, and pull it out of yourself. For me, that's always dance.
When we think of funk, I'm glad in a way that all this is coming about now, because in addition to, and thank you, Cheryl, and thank you, Doctor, for those beautiful answers so eloquently put. When we think about funk, I'm glad Bootsy is doing this thing in a big way, because I also, and this is just me personally, my opinions, not Facebook and not YouTube and all the other platforms that we're on. It's only my personal opinion. I do not like fake funk acts. What's up, Mama Sandy out of DC? I see you, sweetheart. Love you. And nothing against the music that they do, but let's just not call it what it ain't, right? And with Funk Not Fight, I think it's allowing a lot more young people that don't necessarily know the difference to say, hey, wait, this Funk Not Fight thing goes with a specific type of music. And I'm at a concert watching 90s R&B acts. They ain't playing that music, so why are they calling themselves funk? This is what's under the craw of every OG like me. We all talk. We all love their music in the 90s and 2000s. We love hip hop and rap. We do not like when they're calling it something it is not. It's a disgrace. It would be like my band playing my songs and then calling it Beethoven and Bach. It's a disgrace. How do you guys feel about that? Cheryl, I'm going to start with you first.
Well, I honestly think when you have a certain vibe or certain groove that you groove to, nobody should try to copy that, because it becomes a part of something they may develop that may come big out of it, and then they done took something that was your soul and reproduced it. That's why they say patent your stuff. It's the same thing in dance. You create a dance and somebody just changed the music and do the same exact dance, and then that dance blows up and yours never moved, because it's about the music. It ain't about the steps. It's the song that moves people. So you don't want your creation taken by somebody else. And if they decide they want to do it, call the person up and allow them to be a part of it, or get their approval before you just take everything that they've developed in their heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you feel, Doctor, about that?
Well, I look at it as funk being like an element of everything that comes out of the core. The core is music, and you reach down in the middle of it and you look for that individual message that everybody can relate to. You dig in, pull it out. That's funk. That's the funk. And you have to let individuals know where to get their own funk grooves. Everybody has them.
I'd like to think that some of the main elements, like you said, are always in everything, and I hear it in everything, and I respect what these young people do and who they listen to, because you could tell the true funk soldiers, the young heads that listen to the real stuff, and as opposed to people that don't. I have my issues with the promoters and the Live Nations of the like, you know, and the iHeart radios. Don't be putting on shows and putting, you know, R&B acts on and then calling it funk. Because funk not fight. If you want to know and you watch it and you didn't know what funk is, you watch Boosie, you watch George, you watch Dumpster Funk, you watch all of these funky bands that's out there doing it, you'll see and hear the difference. So all I ask young people to do is do your research. Don't just fall for the okie doke, because like they say, you fake the funk, your nose will grow. And we ain't really doing that. Funk Not Fight. We're hanging out today with Dr. Pamela Wilson and funk dance ambassador Cheryl Lynn Woodhouse. And these ladies are beautiful women of color. They work in the military. They've done their time in the military. So please support them in every way. You know, their brother, you know, obviously Tony Wilson blowing up James Brown's birthday all over the country and everything. So we're going to try to get together and do something with him as well. Mr. Markley, my producer back there, the man behind the glass, keeping it funky, keeping it fast, always sexy, never sassy, never classy, always classy, never lasty. Mark, I love you. Happy birthday. Shout out to Mark. He had a birthday a couple of weeks ago. So since you was on your vacation, happy birthday, Mark. And also, happy birthday to the Dr. George Clinton. We love to funk you, Funkenstein. Your funk is the best. All right, happy birthday. And we'll get a pickup of George later on. So what's new, ladies? What have you guys been doing in a minute? Not just yet with, oh, well, there he is. See, George beams in whenever he wants. Mark ain't listening, following no instructions. Happy birthday. I guess it's apropos that we put him up now because he is the man. Happy birthday, George Clinton, the man, the funketeer, the one who started it all. Where did he start it? Where was he born? Right here, Kannapolis, North Carolina. And North Carolinians that don't know that, I despise y'all, because y'all should know that. Every time I ask somebody where he was born, they say Plainfield. I was like, nope. He was born in Kannapolis. And you can see right there, George is up top. And that's me with young George, all right, at his birthday party. Yeah, man, that was out 50 years. Wait, that was his 50th, I think. Yeah. So anyway, happy birthday, Dr. Funkenstein. We acknowledge your funk, because it wasn't for you, we couldn't be doing this, right? So, yeah, man, thank you, Mark. That was dope. See, that's typical. The funk just does what it wants, which is good. But tell me, Cheryl, what's new? What new dances you got coming up? What's going on, and who have you been working with lately?
Yes, so the dancers virtually across the world would be in connection with coming up with the dances. Patty asked us to do something to King Records. So when they, was saving King Records, we gave each person a track to develop either salsa, baka. A young lady out in North Carolina, Loretta Rombog, is right there close to where you are, and she does bachata and the Latin type dancing. So she's rocking out something to Funk Not Fight for me. We had about 5 or 6 of the ladies, Shawana Moore, Danita Moses, Dr. Wilson, myself, and one of the young ladies from Philly that rocked out a tap dance. So we got on the tube, Zoom, and rehearsed it, and then we got that done up. So we're working that, and then the Funk Not Fight. Patty just mentioned in our recent meeting, she wants to do different types of stuff, not just one thing. So, I'm telling the line dancers, hey, just reach out, find your funk in it, come up with a dance, teach your students, send the clip, and let's Funk Not Fight. You know what I mean? So just trying to get everybody to come together and teach the dances. I just recently started teaching at the Dance Academy, Beyond Words Dance Academy. They're brilliant there, the young ladies. So I teach the adults line dancing. So we already rocking out BYs and the Bootsy dances and the James Brown, and we're going to teach them your dance as soon as I get them beefed up a little bit more to these steps. So it's going to be a good thing. And now that everybody is pushing the Funk Not Fight, a lot of them are having events like Shawana Moore. I'll be in Chicago in August 3rd and 5th. She's having her 10th anniversary line dance event. So I'll be there, and we're going to do a collaboration to Funk Not Fight. So,
yeah, I saw you posted that, and that's so dope. I can't wait to see that, because it's just a miracle how all you ladies go all around the world, and you've already been that in the military. Now it's come full circle. Dr. Pamela, tell us a little bit about how the support for this movement that Patty and Boosie started has grown into this really huge worldwide phenomenon?
Well, I'll tell you, Zach, that's a great question. They opened up the door for more funk than you ever imagined. And I really love the push on education, because you can funk and still be an educator. You can
Right.
deliver a message through funk, through education. And we're going to do that to make sure people know that you can be as smart as you want to be. You can be not so smart if people term you to be that, but everybody can funk. And one thing about funk that I want to make sure everybody knows from an educational point of view, it cannot be duplicated. Funk has its own individual style. It cannot be duplicated. So those that try to duplicate it will not have a lot of success. And in fact, you can find the funk not fight inside the person. And when you find that, you'll get that individual spiel, because no two people are alike. So find your groove, and then bring that. That's what we want to do with education.
Yo, that's dope. See, and when you say education, I like you keep stressing that word, because we don't want what is happening in the music industry to be willy-nilly, just off the cuff. There's usually a strategic business plan. And you ladies are very educated in business. You both have your own. And when you see Funk Not Fight, we want people to understand that's just one element of it. Like you said, there are many different elements of it. One is the branding, Funk Not Fight. That's part of the, the other element is, podcasts, working with people together, crossing over, empowering women. That's part of it. Supporting our military troops, not necessarily the wars, but the troops, the young men and women and past, present, and future that have to deal with that, and be away from their families and things like that. So those things are very important. We want our young followers and Funketeers to know there are more elements to it than just having fun, partying, raising hell kind of thing. As we've all gotten older, we all see different, I want to say we're gatekeepers, but we see different responsibilities now, when it comes to the word funk. And I'm so happy to have you guys on. Today, we're hanging out with Funk Dance Ambassador Sherlyn Woodhouse and Dr. Pamela A. Wilson. And we have a couple of comments. I'm just going to throw them on the screen real fast. Hold on. I got it, Mark. And my producer back there, Mr. Mark Lee. Mama Sandy, of course, she's popping in. And how you doing, Mama Sandy? We love, when you pop in. Washington, D.C. Mama Sandy's in the house, And then we have another comment that we're going to keep putting these on the screen. My mom and my auntie representing in a major way. Young Marcy, so, when it comes to this funk thing and the people that I've met is beautiful. It's grand. We want you guys to hang out, because I want to run a few spots, and we're going to come right back on the other side, show your videos. We're going to let you guys talk about that a little bit before we do them. And, we're going to also show the Funk Not Fight Boosie's video that we've been showing all month. So you guys hang out. Thank you guys for joining in. Not on the Grind TV, Funk from the Front Seat. I want to hear my main man.
Hey, this is Keith Jackson with P-Funk Radio, inviting you to check out my brother Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat. Saturdays, 12 noon on the East Coast and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. It all happens on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube. Great guest, great conversation each and every Saturday. That's Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Robinson on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Check him out.
Hey, it's Chris.
Chrissy Key Rollins.
Hey, it's Chrissy Key Rollins here with Holistic Restoration, inviting you to check out Zach Robinson with Funk in the Front Seat. He drops new episodes every Saturday at noon on the East Coast time, and replays are posted for whenever you miss a live stream. You can find him on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube, and get ready for the funk, because he brings it every week, along with hot topics, amazing guests, and great conversations. Again, that's Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Go check him out.
Hey, this is Jen Vanderputten, writer of Code and Prose. You are watching Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Roberson. Tune in every Saturday at noon for excellent and important conversation.
On the show soon on 9 on the Grind.
Joe
So
Keys
y'all
and
stay
Joe
tuned
Keys
for that.
and the late
Here's my guy,
Brad.
Joe Keys. Where you
Just did a show with my man Zach. Number 9. That's right. Number 9's got it going on. Check out Funk from the Front Seat. Zach Robinson. Serious good vibrations, y'all. What we need. Peace.
Mandrill, and he's gonna, be doing a documentary and everything. And I have to mention that because it's very important. Key element to the funk. There are a lot of funk bands out there doing it. So Cheryl, Mr. Mark Lee's going to run some videos, and Dr. Pamela, and we're going to show which one we're going to show first, Mark. He's setting that up now for us. So let's just see which one we're going to watch. Before we go to the next one, Mark, hold on. Please tell us who that was and what he was actually doing.
That was my brother, Ron Wilson, who just retired from firefighter. He's also a Hall of Famer for wrestling. And he actually used to dance and tap with us. So I had him do one so that we can group him into the music. That was awesome. Great job, Ron.
Good job, Ron. Okay, Mark, who we got next? Now, who's that?
That was Dr. Wilson. Yeah,
okay.
That goes to the Funk Not Fight music. So if you saw the Diamonds and Pearls, that girl is my world. There was a certain step we do to that. So the music was in the background. You would definitely be able to see the whole picture come together. Good job,
my screen is small over here. So get down, doctor. Get down, all the way down. All the way down. So when you guys are, before we go to the next one, Mark, right? We have something else, right? Just nod your head. One more, two more. Okay. When you guys are setting these up and you're in different places, how do you communicate with the person you're trying to coordinate with?
Well, we do FaceTime or Zoom, and I teach the dance as if I was there live, or I send them a clip of me doing it. And Dr. Wilson ended up getting with Ron Wilson, and he came down to her basement area, and they worked it out and got it done. Same thing with the dancers. You know, we had a Zoom, and we teach it on Zoom. And then we get together every week until everybody got it down pack. And then I tell them to dress up, try to look like Bootsy, put on your glasses, your big hat, whatever, and rock out to it. So we chose to wear black and white.
That's what's up. Doctor, I wanted to ask you a question. I think we need to do a doc on this, a real documentary, and show from pillar to post what you guys do. Because I don't think people appreciate enough of the hard work and how much time consuming it can be to get one line dance perfect and one step. The ones you guys made for me and everything I've ever seen you do is always perfect. Everybody's in the right step all the time. It's so well done. And I really think at some point, maybe I could come there or something and just do a Funk from the Front Seat special and show people this is what they do, show behind the scenes, how you guys work the steps, how Cheryl may zoom in or somebody else. I think people need to know that. And I think it would be interesting, to do a whole show around not the dance, the process,
yes.
Show people the process. So we're going to talk about that. Tommy, what up, McKnight? Let me put up some of these comments. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, Tammy. My bad. Man, I'm having real issues, Mark. I can't see anything. I need more glasses.
Hey, Tammy Tam.
So
Tammy.
That's how I am walk.
Love this. Ladies are rocking the house.
Hey, Zach, I want to make a couple of comments on something that you asked about.
Sure.
Yeah, let me go back to that tap dance with my brother, Ron Wilson, the one that's the 32-year fire department, just retired from the fire department after 20 years. The significant part is he's a wrestling coach. And he did that simultaneously while also working with Chicago Fire Department. So not only did he do that, he has a wrestling group, and their name is Beat the Streets Wrestling. The whole purpose is to teach kids skills in wrestling and those types of things to specifically keep them off of the streets, but yet teach them a life skill that, of course, they're going to need later on. So it's a lot of mentoring and everything that goes in with that. But what they get to see when they saw Coach Ron Wilson tap dancing, they may have got a chuckle, but what they got was determination. What they got is someone that's not afraid to take a challenge. What they got is someone willing to show somebody that I'll show you the soft side of myself. I'm going to bring out the funk to show you that we have positive things out there that we're doing and we don't have to fight. So this campaign, yes, absolutely, it is fitting. We need this. But I just want to make sure you understood it was a lot more to that. And I want to give another shout out when you showed George Clinton, because, oh my goodness, right now I am in that age group of funk. I am getting ready to celebrate my 50th class reunion in Harlan High School in Chicago. And we were just totally into Bootsy, Parliament, and everything that kept us alive, because we were in that age where we did fight. And we had to find ways to not fight. We're talking sit-ins and gangs and all of that. So the funk brought the peace. And I'm telling you, when we have this 50th year reunion, Harlan High School, September 15th and 16th in Chicago, Tinley Park Convention Center, we're going to rock some funk. We're going to rock it, Zach.
Oh, they're going to learn the funk, not fight dance. You better believe
it.
I want to go back to something you mentioned about your brother. First of all, kudos to him and shout out to you. But it seems like your whole family was raised to serve, or taught or felt the passion to serve. We're going to get back to the visit in a minute, but tell us, where did your family get this passion to serve humanity and their fellow man from? That's amazing.
Our parents. It starts in the home, Zach. You have to, if you see a fight, you know how to navigate a fight.
Yeah.
We saw a lot of fights. It may not have been internal within the family, but you had to learn to fight. When you have a lot of people around you, whether they're brothers and sisters, teachers, pastors, whoever the people are that interact in your life, you have to know that there is going to be a fight. Funk Not Fight is definitely going to help to bridge some of that. We need that. We need a campaign. We need someone to tell the story. And through the life lessons that we learned and the eras we grew up in, these lessons are keeping us relevant. Bringing leaders back. That's what we need. We need more Funk Not Fight.
You're right about that. What prompted most of your family to join the military or become firemen and everything else? Like, what was that drive? He's a coach. What is that besides your parents that it gave you? Because, you know, parents give their kids a lot. So it's up to the children to instill it in themselves and do it. So what was that made y'all do that?
Let's be real on one thing. It actually was the fight. It was the fight that we did not know how to fight. We grew up poor. We grew up not having. We were certainly the haves and the have-nots. And just the poverty level of learning how to live without and how to navigate without. How do you do that? The bond that united us was music. And our family, it instilled that in us, that you can always find some type of way through your troubles just by integrating music into your life, having a dialogue with people that understand a different genre of where you are. Funk, it was the way that got us there because no one was the same. And this was this individualism that you could bring to the table where people understood. If funk has its own language, Zach, it has its own language. And we learned that. Our family taught us how to be funky. And you embrace it however you need to. So for us, it was the example set by our parents. It was not having.
Yeah. Yes. Right. And it came from, because funk started with, you know, I heard Bootsy once say George took, you know, and James Brown and them, they took nothing and made something out of it. You know, Bootsy told me that once, you know. Yes. He said, you know, hey, we're proud of you, him and Patty. You took that show and during COVID and you took nothing and made something out of it. And I never thought about it that way. But I get a lot of nice compliments from everybody. And it's just a beautiful thing. And that's one of the most nicest, most spiritual compliments that someone ever gave me, because I never thought about it like that, you know. But I guess because, you know, we're doing this together now, and here it is 4 years later, and we Funk and Not Fighting, and we're all carrying on and continuing this thing. But Cheryl, tell me a little bit about how you got that, what Doctor said and what Tony got and her brother and your brother from your parents. How did you incorporate that in your life?
Yeah, that was everything for us, because I remember at 2 years old in my crib, standing up, holding on to the bar rails and hop. You know how you used to hop and dance. All I heard in my ears since I've been born is music. And, you know, my mother and them's home had the downstairs bar type effect with the paneling. We used to be in there dancing, rehearsing. And my mother has many, we did. My mother has many brothers and sisters, and certain ones that came over that loved to dance or just love social life, they come to my mother's house, and that's where they hung out. So while they were down there juking and jamming and having their little drinks, we was upstairs cooking and clanning and dancing with them and peeping through the door. So for me, in my house, it's always been fun. And then on the outside, while the crime was going on, we knew nothing about it, us as kids, because mom kept us enclosed in some form of recreation. So we went to the parks, and that's where we did tap, modern dance, tumbling, gymnastics, whatever the season was. We was out there doing the season, or in the house doing the season. And as Pam said, at times got hard and mom's lights got shut off, no problem. We get in the living room, we stack on top of each other's shoulders, and we play Rock'em Sock'em Robots. We play hide and seek. We took her pain and turned it into fun. So we didn't want our mother to feel like, oh, you can't afford this, because we going through that at times. But now we understand why they did what they did. And you try to instill that in your children. And I know my son is watching, and thank you, Jarrell, for the shout out. But You just want to keep fun, activity, and sports in their life. And that was something I've done throughout the military and in my life. And I wanted them to have that same thing. But then in the end, they have to find what they really want to do. Because it ain't going to be baseball, doctor, fireman, all of the stuff we say or they say. They got to find their true funk and then go fight for it.
That's right. I got to ask you one question, and this is so silly, but I have to. You said something that triggered in me. You said paneling.
Paneling, oh yeah.
So, bro, let me ask you, beautiful ladies, please, what color was your paneling? You had the brown, the light brown, the white, the gray. Tell me, because we had the brown. Tell me.
Brown.
You had the brown paneling? Brown. I can picture it. I can picture, yo, you trick. I ain't heard that word paneling in about 50 years, bro.
But did you have to drop bubble ceiling?
Paneling, yo, that's the word of the day, Mark. Paneling. Yo, you done close the show down with just that one word.
Paneling. That's it.
Let the church say amen. Everybody out there say paneling. Because we all had it. We all had it. That is such a dope story. All right, Mr. Lee, let's get back to these videos. Paneling! Oh, my God.
Hi, my name is Coach Ron Wilson. I am the brother of Global Dance Ambassador Cheryl Woodhouse, the brother of the Funk Not Fight Campaign Ambassador, Dr. Pamela Wilson, the brother of Young James Brown, Tony Wilson. What do I give a funk about? I give a funk about training young students to become great athletes. I give a funk about women in sports. Shout out to Monica Griffin, one of my female wrestlers that made it for the second consecutive year to the state tournament. I give a funk about women being the best they can be, like the men. I give a funk about children that want to be and become star athletes. I give a funk about family supporting each other. So tell me, what do you give a funk about?
That was special. And most of the time I screen everything, but sometimes I don't, so I can be surprised. That was special. That's special. You know, you guys are a special family, man. You're a special breed. They don't make them like you guys, man. I'm serious, man. Mr. Lee, we have one more? Okay, we're going to show this one more, and then we're going to ask these ladies to dig deep into Funk Not Fight, and we're going to have to address the elephant in the room, violence in America. Mr. Lee, my main man.
that was my choreographed feet doing the tap dance. I choreographed to Funk Not Fight, just showing the footwork.
That's what I want to get into when I said we ought to come up with a doc, and we're going to do that, you know, because we always do what we say we're going to do. People need to know how much work you put in. I am always just like using you guys as an example, because I always said I may not be the best. Like in my song, you ain't got to be the best, just got to outlast the rest. But I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody outwork me. And every time I get tired and then I see one of y'all drop something, I'm like, all right, here we go. I can't even take a nap because they doing stuff, you know. I told my guy, Tony Cam, the same thing. I was like, man, every time I want to take a break, I look on and you doing something. I said, you making me look bad. I said, because now I got to do something. But we push each other, and I like that. That's what it's about. I'm going to ask my guy, well, Mark, should we show the Funk Not Fight? Ladies, I'll leave it up to you guys. You guys are my guests today. We're hanging out with Dr. Pamela A. Wilson, this esteemed woman of the military and, you know, Club Funk ambassador, funk dance ambassador Sherilyn Woodhouse, also military vet, you know, and we have them on the other shows with women of color and everything. But these ladies are just doing it in a big way. Honor some purple today. I challenge everybody today, wherever you are, get a piece of purple and wear it for the rest of the day. If you're watching this show, send me pictures of it on my Facebook page. You know, Funk from the Front Seat, because we need to support what you guys do. But I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to watch this Bootsy video right now?
Let's do it, Zach.
Let's do it. All right, Mark. I got this one. I got this covered. I'm giving Mark some time off back there because I know he's busy doing other things. Hey, Ty, we appreciate you, Mark. And we're going to show this real fast and have Mark come on, and then we're going to address the elephant in the room. It's not the guns, but we got to keep them out of the kids' hands. And we have two very educated women here of the military that can speak to how we can kind of maybe come up with some solutions. So y'all check this out. Thank you for hanging in there. We appreciate it.
Hey, go, party over here. What we do?
Yeah. I'm not a fighter, but I'm a lover. Yeah. This kid named Money, he was always broke. He stepped down with my woman, and that ain't no joke. She meant the world to me, and that was no mystery. But when it got down to, I had to funk him to his knees. Something like that. In the neighborhood
Big brother Boosie, big sister Patty, yo, man. Club Funk Ambassadors right here. Funk Dance Ambassador Sherilyn Woodhouse, Dr. Pamela A. Wilson in the house. You know what's funny? Every time I watch that video, I lose my mind when I see the bunny hop. When I see them doing that, yo, that takes me back. Because it's just so funny because it's in fast motion. Yo, man, they smoked that video.
They did.
Dennis and Rhonda and just, oh my God, they smoked it, man. They smoked it. Mark, Cheryl, first of all, maybe you could tell me, who were those dancers?
Those were dancers that I believe Patty may have gotten that were part, I guess, of whatever. They probably brought those folks on from Cincinnati.
From Ohio, I was gonna say probably in that same area. So only because I wanted to shout them out, and I don't know who they are, but anyway, kudos to y'all doing that line dance Soul Train thing, man. George the Funk Vinci, bro, I got you, bro. What up? Kudos, because I want to shout them out. I just don't know who they are. So if you find out who they are, tell me, and I'll make sure I get it posted. But that you know, Brian Culberson, and it just smokes. Everything they touch is smoking, man. Mr. Mark Lee, I need you to jump in for a minute. We get ready to get serious now for a minute.
No, I'm going to jump in and everything.
One second. Let me set you up. Okay. Funk Dance Ambassador Sherilyn Woodhouse is in the house with us. Dr. Pamela A. Wilson is with us, right? Both women of color of the military. And also, please follow their pages. And if you're out there today, please put on some purple. But what I was going to get into this roundtable really quick, and we're not going to keep it too long, but I want to start with Dr. Pamela Wilson. Just the weekend of July 4th, right? We had at least 10 mass shootings all across the country in every state. Now, you ladies were around guns in the military. I always say it's not the weapon or whatever it's called. It's the mindset behind it. Dr. Pamela, if you were going to talk to I'm going to put you in a scenario. If you get a chance to speak with a young lady or man that has that choice to make, teetering, what would you tell them so they teeter into the funk not fight and put down the gun?
Well, let's start with the gun initially. That's important, that we will not admit. Responsibility starts with the owner of the gun. Mm-hmm. That's number one. So we need accountability for that. And once we're able to get that handled, then we can start placing accountability and blame to the right person when that said property gets out of the wrong hands. That's accountability once again. And it really kind of goes back to the home that you're living in. Right. So if you are that homeowner that owns a gun or whatever, you just must be responsible. We can't throw blame to anyone. Things happen. People do get into locked boxes or whatever happens, but responsibility starts with the owner of the property. You have to be responsible. Once it gets out into the wrong hands, that's when your values come from whoever you are. And we are not ones that take responsibility for telling people how you raise your family, what values you teach them. But what we can say that there are consequences to the use of those weapons, and they are used for a particular reason. Misuse is what we need to start talking about. Yeah. And we need to start talking about hard consequences. That's the elephant in the room people will not get with.
When you say hard consequences, what do you mean?
Punish the offenders.
Gotcha. Do you mean, like, say, for instance, if I'm a kid and I take my parents' gun and I go out and I do some heinous, misguided act of violence, should my parents also be held responsible because they let me have access to it, or I figured out a way to get it?
Parents are ultimately responsible. And it's they're great parents. They're great people out here.
Oh yeah, God, yes.
Yes, it's certainly not to make any one set of people feel that they have not done enough in whoever's being raised, because these are not just children. These are people who have unauthorized access to weapons. But the responsibility has to be on the person who owns them. Why are they out of your possession? Why are they not locked? Why do they have bullets in them? So there's a lot of things that's riddled with that. And if we want to bring the government in, we know that will be the ultimate person that's responsible. But we'll stay in the context of the question that you asked me. Parents, accountability.
I love that answer. Mark, I'm going to get you in a second. Cheryl, could you jump in on that answer, please?
Yes, I'll definitely jump in on it. And I want to go back to the parents.
Yes,
ultimate responsibility of the parent, but as in any type of investigation, you innocent until proven guilty. When it comes to the parent, you look at them innocent until proven guilty, because once you go in the household, and I happen to be a criminal justice major, so once you go in and do all your investigation, you're going to know if the parent had it locked up. Did the person, even the adult, I don't care if the adult is 45 years old, because we're talking about time of the head now. Are they dealing with some form of mental health? Did you have it locked up away from them where they didn't know where it was, but they found the way to find it? Because let's be real. Kids and adults, we very wise. We watch what our parents do. And when we call ourselves hiding an ice cream bar somewhere, they know exactly where to find it. So, you know what I mean? When you had them certain sodas.
Sandwiches,
whatever it is. So I wouldn't be quick to dock the parent yet, because you got to do your research on why it happened. Now, once the research is done, they found out parent ain't locked it up. They kept it in the drawer. The kid knew where it was. Boom, bam. Sorry, ma'am. But you going down with the child. Now, the child or the adult that did the act, you got to find out their mental state. Because most of the killings that are happening lately, y'all already know, it deals with some form of mental health. And mental health has struck more adults than we did watching the children with ADHD. We got to watch ourselves now. And that's from my cell phone down. I'm just being real. You just don't know what people are going through. And when you have that happen, and even when people commit suicide, you're looking at them like, I can't believe they would do it. Why not? Because you don't know what their mental state was. So I think even with guns, accountability and responsibility, Dr. Wilson is absolutely right. But when it comes to the parent, I don't want to be held liable and go to jail because my child went and shot somebody. And if that gun was registered to me, and I know for a fact it was locked, cocked, and put away, and he found it, then we're going to go to the answer of how it got found and what sources he used. You know what I mean? It's just
Mark, jump in on that question, please, sir.
No, a couple of things. I definitely agree with what the ladies are saying on a lot of different levels. Accountability is very real, is very much a part of the conversation. One of the most poignant commercials that I see on a regular basis is this notion of a person or a family, and I think it's the wife that is coming back and the husband is already in the house, and they are realizing that their son has got hold of the gun, and they are afraid that a suicide may be taking place in that particular commercial, because we don't know why they've got the gun, to the point that Cheryl is making, and they might even be trying to take themselves out of this society that we are in and everything. So that is something that I am also very much concerned about. And some of the guns also, I would argue, probably need tighter regulations and all along those lines, because there are certain guns, and I am definitely one that believes in protection of the home and think that anybody knows that we sometimes have to protect our homes and all along those lines. But I don't know that you need an AK-47 to protect your home, and you definitely don't need it to hunt a deer. I'm just being very real about it, because that AK-47 is going to pretty much eliminate, and there won't be much meat left for you if you're trying to get venison. Let's just be very honest about that and all along those lines. So I do think that we have to regulate some of the types of weapons and all along those lines. But ironically, it's not just guns that are being regulated and everything. In this area, we've seen a lot of kids that are getting souped up vehicles, and they're running around and in some cases torturing people. And a lot of folks are trying to figure out ways to regulate that. I'm trying to think of the terms, but they're like all vehicles, terrain kind of vehicles that you can get around. They're motorcycles and other types, and they will oftentimes weave in and out of traffic, and they can be a nuisance, and they can oftentimes even cause people to go into road rage. So I know that there have been conversations here about trying to figure out ways to regulate that as well. And just really quickly, I know we're going to get into more of the conversation, but I was just going to let you know, Zach, that there is a past guest here, and I'm not saying they're going to win. They're going to have a uphill fight and everything because they are not the front runner, but I do think that they are a solid contender. So a past guest of this show right here, Funk from the Front Seat, is running for mayor of Durham, North Carolina. So we may have a direct contact if we can get Leonardo Williams to run, because Leonardo Williams announced on Thursday, I think it is, that he's going to be a candidate for mayor in Durham. And good, crime is one of his issues.
Good. Tell him to rerun the show we did with him, and he'll win. And we'll get him back on. Thank you for saying that, Mark. And yeah, Leonardo, you got my endorsement. You got Funk from the Front Seat officially endorses this gentleman, Leonardo, for mayor. So you got our endorsement. I want to get back to the education, and thank you, Mark, so eloquently putting it and you ladies with your answer. We're hanging out, Funk from the Front Seat, 9 on the Grind TV, every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right? And we're getting to some seriousness. Of course, we are all involved in the national campaign, Funk Not Fight, along with many, many thousands of people around the world, started by Bootsy and Patty Collins. The goal is to have a specific venue, building, space for kids when they feel a certain way, doctor, and then they can go to this place and do artwork like a center or something, rec center, this and that, play music, understand, listen, that energy that tells you to be dark and hurt another fellow spiritual energy, you need to channel that, because we all know, like Chrissy Key Rollins says, dark energy is light energy waiting to happen. And it's our job as light workers, Club Funky ambassadors, podcast celebrities as Mark, military men and women, musicians. It's our job to use everything we have, all our resources. This is why God, I think, brought us all together now. You notice we didn't meet each other before, but he's like, listen, all my workers, come to the front of the line. It's your turn. So we're going to do our best, Bootsy and Patty, and for everybody out there. I wanted to get to some of these comments. First of all, thank you, April, and thank you, Faye. I appreciate that. That was dope. And George DeFunca Vinci had a very interesting comment that I wanted to put up, and we're going to show that. And George, we'll be with you right after this show, and we're going to work on some things, man. It also depends on where the kids are being raised too, because they may be getting bullied by someone and they want to hurt them. That will make the kid look for a weapon like a gun. And you're absolutely right. A lot of factors go into it.
Hey,
a lot of factors go into it.
But my question is, and this is actually also for the ladies, isn't that part of the issue and everything? Because one of the things that I've been really admiring about both Cheryl as well as Dr. Pamela is that they are not letting age stop them. They are being very involved in dance and a number of other things at the age range that they are in. I've got relatives, including my dad, that is in his 80s, that are still very active as well. So I think that sometimes we think that we can't be active when we are getting into our later years. And that is something that the kids are also concerned about, because sometimes they don't feel that they have enough things to do. So that's some complaint that I hear about the kids, is that they don't have enough to do, whether it's in Durham, whether it's in Cincinnati, whether it's in Charleston, I don't care where it is. They are complaining that they don't have enough venues. So I would agree with something that you said, that we've got to find ways to keep them engaged. But I would love to hear the ladies' thoughts about that.
Well, I would certainly like to talk about that in a different way, to share with you that our veteran organization, I Am WAC, we happen to be embarking on a camp that's similar to what you're talking about, a place where homeless or kids can come together and have a youth camp where they're off the streets and learning everything that they need to learn. And this camp be housed and ran by homeless vets. So we're thinking the same way that Patty and Bootsy are thinking. I think it's necessary, but I'd like you to consider some of the stuff that Cheryl is doing now. Pop-ups. You take your funk with you. You go to a city, you take your line dancing, your equipment and everything, and you take you to the people and you bring the funk to them. Then you get the funk out of them. Then we can funk, not fight.
That's right.
So you have to have a strategy to get to it, and every little piece helps. Now I watch my sister. I like the way she does what she does to bring people together, because you bring them together for peace and for those things, but you're using something different to get at it. That's the same thing in this country right now. We've got the violence, the guns. They're doing it because they don't have another venue. That's where we come in. Let's offer them something.
You know, it's funny, and I'm going to let Cheryl get in, but I just wanted to add something really quick. I pick up a lot of young people because I drive Uber when I'm not doing music, and I'm always trying to tell them, listen, there's alternatives. But one of the problems I see that I always have to boost these people up is their self-esteem is low. They can have the whole world. These are Duke students. They have the whole world. They get in my car crying because they can't take a test, right? So I tell them, listen, it's all about your self-esteem. Feel good about yourself. Then you won't have to feel some type of way inside all the time. And I also tell them it's normal to feel in your feelings, but don't just sit there in it. Once you're done with it, move on, because you're going to feel it regardless. Sometimes you just have to acknowledge stuff. And I think, and I'm going to let Cheryl get in on that question, Mark. I think that having a specific place that may have a title one day that says Funk Not Fight on it, they know, okay, like if they were going to a deli or the barbershop, they know, hey, that's the Funk Not Fight Center. Let's go over there because there's positive stuff happening. Go ahead, Cheryl.
Yeah, I'm going to drop in on what Dr. Wilson was saying about the whole pop-up thing. You know, that's what we've been doing in line dance for over 15, 20 years. So when this whole came about spreading the music, and I said, well, okay, I don't need to do it for myself. Let's include all of the line dancers, those unsung or sung heroes that doing a lot for the community. I see it, we see it, but maybe the haters don't. So you want to bring those kind of people on and let them shine through the to the people. Right, let me give you a big example. We had the I Am Walk conference in Renaissance, Atlanta, and I brought chair dancing to the seniors because a lot of the veterans are either in wheelchairs or scooters from walking, and just being able to teach them the line dances we do standing up on our feet and letting them do it in the chair. Now, mind you, we got the young ones, you know, when you stand up and do that wobble, you got to jump up, you know, they want to twerk, but that's good because when the older generation and the general saw that, I think it made them feel so vibrant that they was amongst the young dancers and, you know, everybody dancing together. And I think that alone changed the whole vibe. They was like, oh, we don't want you to be the historian. You need to be doing this, but I'm already doing this. I'm just bringing it to the people. And I'm
and Mark, I'm gonna let you get in, but 1 second. I just want to say I got to shout out Tony Cam and the Funk School. I'm going to be there on the 29th. It's going to be our second one. Last time we had about 8 to 11 kids, and they did a little concert, and we're going to do it again. And the mayor and the city council is going to be involved, along with building bridges over in Lynchburg, Virginia, next Saturday, the 29th. So if you're over there and you want to come down to the theater over there, building bridges. You can find it all over the websites and check out what we're doing, because like Dr. Wilson, like, you know, Cheryl and a lot of other organizations that Mark works with at the Hate Tie, we are all bringing these kids together to give them something else to do. And we just have to keep spreading that. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to add that. Mark, you were going to add something?
I was just going to add in this whole notion of a pop-up. That's literally what is going on here at the center that you were referring to, the Hate Tie Center, because it is a pop-up food and vendor event with a lot of different fashion folks and a couple of artists and things of that nature, but they are outside literally in the parking deck. So it is a pop-up event, just like we were talking about, needs to happen globally and all of that. And actually the organizer, actually I'm looking at him right now, Brian Lawson, is a local community organizer and does a lot of these kind of things. So they'll be doing one in August, and I think he's shooting for September. So it'll be the 4th Saturday of every month, and if the weather holds up, that might even go past that, but 2 more are scheduled and all along those lines. So I am a big fan of pop-up events and all along those lines. There was something y'all said earlier that I've got to tease you about, both you and Dr. Pamela, and I see Cheryl's back on. as well and everything, because y'all were talking about paddling. I avoided that. I avoided it with a quickness and everything. I did have the little dog house that you got your name put in if you were a bad person and everything, and I tried to avoid that as well. I'd be lying, and I'd love to hear if y'all had this as well, if I said that I avoided the switch, because they would give you to go get the switch. If you brought back the little switch, you would have to go back and get the bigger switch. So I was wondering if Pamela and Cheryl had to deal with that, where you would go and you try to get like a little small tiny switch, and they'd be like, "Nah, you need to go back and get that tree."
Yes. Yeah, we've been through that before, the little switches. And I'm going to be honest, I brought all the little thin switches, the ones that break as soon as they touch you.
I was like you, but I don't know. But did you get that psychological award that they would give you as well? Because they would make that switch whistle, so they would get it to whistle, so that you knew that you were about to get some serious lashes and everything. Because I had a whole whistling sound. It was I know it was a Southern thing. I don't know if y'all did that in the North, Zach and everything, but it definitely would have that whistle, and you would get, you would know that you were in trouble. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, from a guy that got many a whooping, because I was always bad. I didn't do nothing to people. I was just always into shit. I remember, like, my stepmother, who she used to whoop me, right? And when I would bring back the switch, right, she would make sure that I didn't, because I used to try to break it in advance and then make it a little less, more pliable. So when it hit me, it would kind of bend. So she would do what you just said, Mark. And sometimes she would be like, "Oh, you think you slick? You broke this one." You know what I'm saying? Yo, Cheryl, yes, I would break them in advance. She would get 2 or 3 good links, and then it would break. And I'm doing this whooping dance anyway. I was one of them. I wasn't gonna stand still and take it. I was all over the map. I didn't care if she whooped me longer. I was dancing on it. But it's funny you say that about that. Paddling and that's the word of the day. Yep. That's dope. I just wanted to add that. Don't ask me why.
No problem. I just had to think about the switch, because I just knew that, like I said, I tried. There was other family members that were worse than I was, but yeah, I have, even us good folks have our moments as well. So, and I do know that actually Mom still owns the doghouse, because it was literally little dogs who had your name on it, and if you were the bad one, you went in the doghouse. So definitely that was something, and Mom still has that doghouse that was an inheritance from my grandmother. So I think a couple of the dogs might be missing, but the house itself is still in fairly good shape.
So when we nowadays, see, you were talking about how we was raised, right? Mm-hmm. We can't do that to our kids now. You can't. Right. They took a lot of things away from parents. Not that whooping your kid is good or bad. I'm just saying the threat of the whooping is what kept me in line, And then my father always told me, listen, when you go out there with a Robinson name, you're carrying my name, his grandfather's name, his family name. We cared more about things like that, the little things. So, Doctor, educationally speaking, how can we put, and I know the school districts don't want us to do this, but we have to take back the school boards, because there are things that are being taught in school now where these kids are never going to pay attention to it, and all they do is daydream. And you know what I'm talking about. How can we fix some of that?
Zach, that's a great question, because think about just funk, not fight. When you think about funk, it's individualized. Well, so is education. We cannot put everyone in the same building and expect that they're going to get the same thing out that they went in for. So there is some merit in individualized teaching. There really is. Now, the thing with the school systems right now is so many schools popping up now, but there are many geographically schools being built in the same communities. So you have that diversity of school choices, just as you have diversity in people and how they act and what they do. So I think it's something that's in that we must do. We have to feed America for America to feed us. And it just spills into everything we do.
Yeah. Cheryl.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I was mentioning, like, what can we do in our school systems to get our school systems to join our Funk Not Fight as far as incorporating some of the disciplines? Because I talked to a lot of teachers, man. They said they get 6th grade young men and women, 7th, 8th, and 9th, trying to teach them Spanish, and they can't even speak English.
That's, you know why?
I mean, not that they're from another country. Our own kids can't read or write. They don't know an adjective, an adverb. You know, they just don't know.
Right. But give them that music and turn that Spanish and that English into a little bit of music. It ain't got to be hip hop. It could just be the spoken words and change it to musical, and they'll know every freaking lyric and word to that particular song, which is their study plan. So you can find ways by reaching people musically. And to say that, it's strange you said that, because when we went to Atlanta for the conference, there are people that was like, you need to be up in the schools. You need to be up in the senior citizen homes doing what you do. And so just bringing something like that, some kind of fun into the schools. I actually had one of our Sergeant Major friends that mentioned about doing it in the school system here. So when you could bring a form of dance, when you could take the band and change a lot of their study stuff into lyrics and let them sing it or act it out, that is what's going to pull out that fun in them. And I'm going to give you an example. Y'all remember 2 years ago when the commercial came on that grocery store, and the little girl went down in the cart and all of a sudden disappeared from the screen? I don't know what it was about that video, but at Target or one of the grocery stores, from that point on, all the commercials started doing musical type commercials. And I guarantee you go and look at their numbers, that commercial with that music and that little movement pushed their advertisement probably through the roof, because that's what they're looking for. They're looking for, you know, kinetic type things, not just, you know, throwing stuff and words and books at us and then, you know, we're going to learn it. Some of us will, but it's a whole lot of us it's not focused. They can't give you 30 seconds, let alone 1 minute.
Hey, if I can just add to that, you see a lot of that with the popularity of a lot of the messaging, whether you like the messaging or not, with TikTok and Instagram, because the ones that are more successful and the ones that do better are those that have some sort of musical element with it. And even I know what definitely Bootsy is doing with the Funk Not Fight movement, and I like the way that Ron did that notion of I give a funk, and there was a hip hop artist that has done something very similar and all along those lines, because there's a gentleman named Bruce George who has a whole thing, you can look it up on YouTube, called Genius is Common. But really folks have this notion that all of us have a common genius, whether we are geniuses in the sense of the traditional word or not. So we'll have people talk about what their genius is. So maybe they're a genius as a cook, maybe they're a genius as a playwright, maybe they're a genius as a fireman. But that is kind of this notion, and I think that's been going on for at least a few years. And he came out of the hip hop Russell Simmons camp and all in that space. So we are seeing this kind of messaging and culture being used in that space.
Well, we have to be careful, because here's what I want to warn people against: false numbers. Because everybody that has those numbers aren't necessarily doing it for good and don't necessarily have those numbers. You can buy algorithms now and purchase them.
Oh yeah, totally.
So what I'm saying is, that's cool, TikTok and all this other stuff, but be careful, because Funk Not Fight is real. It's a substance. It's being done in several states around the world and country and around the world. So, but beware of phony things, because sometimes people suck you in with no intention of actually doing what it is that they're hashtagging about.
No, that's very true. Yeah,
we must always talk about both sides of it, because yes, it's good, but social media is not necessarily always good. So just be careful. That's what I warn you guys. It's very important, because now AI has intervened where humans were. So if you got AI telling you something, that's not even a real person. And they got an AI blocker now, because AI is making robot calls on its own, just doing stuff.
Hey,
Zach, so that's what I'm saying. Don't
always. The whole reason behind this.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Don't always look at those numbers, because somebody approached me and said, for $5,000, I can get you 1 million hits. 5,000. I got the email. $5,000, I can get you 1 million hits overnight. So everything that's real is not really real. Go ahead. Cheryl, I want you to jump in real quick because I wanted to ask, what do you have for the future of funk? And then we're going to show that video again of your brother.
Yeah, on the future of funk, we want to be able, I look at us wanting to actually be out there funking with you all. Virtual is fun, but there ain't nothing like being there and present. And the way that line dancers, we travel all over the world. We are all over the world, to include line dancers in, Japan, people that are all over. You want to be able to go and do what you do and then get up there and not have to do much but, hey, we finna do what? Power of the One, boom. 7 people, meet me there. Cincinnati, Columbus, North Carolina, Durham. I'll be there in September, by the way. Durham, North Carolina. And boom, you play the song, they already ready because they know the dances. So you want to, at some point, be able to physically get there and rock out with the people. And
when you come into Durham?
Whenever you ready for me, you just got to call the word because there's folks there in Durham. We can rock out with you. And that's what my sister was saying, the whole pop-up thing. We have a conference. I bring myself, my little Bose Docker and my little traveling little bag, and we there. You only need one person to show, but you need everybody to glow. So
Mark, you think we can make the Hayti Center and get those kids involved?
Yeah, we can definitely get the kids involved, and we can definitely make it happen. There's a couple of ways we can do things in that space, and even some of the organizations that I am involved with or family members are involved with.
Let's get on that.
I think I told you before, my brother's Slingshot Club has appeared in.
Yeah, but let's get on what Cheryl is specifically talking about. Let's make that happen.
Yeah, we can make that happen. We can definitely make that happen. Hey, Dr. Pamela, just really quickly, I remembered the term I was looking for, but what would you say to those folks that are trying to regulate, whether it's regulating the guns or the vehicles? Because a lot of our kids here in Durham, and I know it's all over the country, are getting into these ATVs. So there's those dirt bikes, and they are sometimes of a nuisance. So for those folks that are trying to figure out a way to regulate that, what would your suggestion be toward them? Because I've heard some people that are very concerned about those kind of things, both here and around the country.
Well, ironically, the old school back to the basics approach works. Mm-hmm. Number one, you have to be involved with your politicians, whether you want to be or not. Those are the ones that can go to those gun shops and help to regulate. Those are the ones that can go to Congress and say, we don't want them. We don't want this rule here and there. So we got to start with the political side. And actually, you don't start anywhere. You round table everybody at the same time. Because if you leave somebody out, it's no longer diversity. So you got to get all those players in and come to a common 1, 2, 3. Quit coming up with 5 and 6 ways to do something. It's either this way or that way. We either want guns or we don't. Right. So let's regulate what we want and remember that the ones that fall victim are the ones that are innocent.
Can I add something real fast? This just happened over the past 3 months here in North Carolina. They have deregulated handgun, to purchase. Mm-hmm. You can now go in anywhere, and if you pass a background check, they just give you the gun. They've made it so easy here in North Carolina. It's getting really scary. And another thing, up in New York City, these kids are riding around on those scooter things, not the ATVs, but the 2-wheelers, like the little scooters, and they're snatching, grabbing, and shooting. So if you're around an area where there's a lot of scooters and you see people, young, old, whatever, riding these things, just mind your bags and stuff, because I heard that they're doing that now. But Dr. Pamela, getting back to the local politicians, they just did that here. Guns was already like wide open here. Now it's even worse. Like, why? How can we get the right politician, and maybe this guy Leonardo can do something to get in there and say, whoa, background checks, but we ain't going to just be selling 18-year-olds handguns. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean. You know how we're going to do it, Zach, by partnering. We need to partner with like organizations that's doing the same thing you are. I Am WAC, for instance, that's international, our veteran organization, and National Women Veteran United in Chicago. That's what we do. We partner with other organizations. I can envision Funk Not Fight being a partnership with the local veteran organizations. Let us help you. You know, let's brand together. You have a brand, we have a brand. We have the same principles that we want to get across. We want to funk, not fight. We're trying to model, we're trying to mentor and do those things. And if we're doing it through Funk Not Fight campaign, we need to have your brand on our page. We need to know what you know, but you need to know what we know as well, because we can help promote your programs. And that's what we need. We need to promote each other.
Yeah, we definitely got to do that. Hey,
we get ready to go, but I want Cheryl to jump in on something because I wanted her to talk a little bit about when you're deciding whether you're going to tap or line dance, right? And I know this is jumping off away from the guns, and we kind of got through that enough. But I wanted to let people know you've worked with seniors, you've worked with people in wheelchairs, handicapped, whatever. I want you to let people know you encourage everybody. Say somebody, because I worked in a lot of senior homes. I worked for the Carmelite nuns. We used to do a lot of stuff for people that was in wheelchairs. You know, we used to involve them. You can still use your upper body. So I want you to get into a little bit of that, of how, you know, it's for everybody. Doesn't matter what your limitations are. We lost your volume, sweetie.
I'm sorry. So let's just say, for instance, you are wheelchair bound, or you can walk, but you don't have far distance, or you are paraplegic and your bottom lower part can't move, but your upper. So I want you to imagine all these people lined up, different disabilities. When you get ready to introduce the dance, the first thing you're teaching them is the movement, and you're going to start with either the lower or the upper part. I'm going to sit in the chair with them. And depending on, let's take the wobble dance. Everybody know you jump up first and you bounce 4 times. So if you're sitting in that chair, I showed them how to move their feet up. If their feet can't move because they can't move that part, then they use your arms. And you can jump up by sorry about that. You can jump up just by jumping your hands up. So you find that part of the body that they can use that simulates the same step and movement. Just as people that stand up, move in precision, left and right, going to move your feet in that direction and then bring it back.
You froze.
You froze.
Okay, froze up.
But I think she's talking about what I do, because I was an activities professional. We're going to allow people to use their upper body and do the same movements with them and sit next to them in the wheelchair, or if they can't really get up, or if they're bed bound, rule bound. We need to let people know, just because you see people line dancing. I thought about this because I worked in this capacity, and I think it's very important that we include everybody, because like you said before, when people were standing and watching, they were happy to see the young people doing their thing. And don't forget, everybody, it's about that purple today. I ain't going to let you forget that.
Hey, Zach, some of the best performers I have seen have actually been some folks that are in their older ranges and are starting to have limitations. Actually, my dad's lady friend is part of a dance group, and it was an all-age dance performance. It was part of our American Dance Festival, and I want to say that she's either in her 70s or 80s. But there's, as I think I mentioned to you once, a drill team type group here, and they literally are of various ages. I think some of them are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, because their number that is their jersey is literally the age of whatever their chronological age is, all of that space. So they are very active here, and there are groups like that all over. There's a cheerleading group here, the Dancing Divas, and one dude that is very much active in that space as well. So there are a lot of folks that are not, that's what I was alluding to earlier. They're not letting the fact that they are getting older stop them from being engaged and involved. And I do think that sometimes that is a mistake that too many folks, as we get into the older years, think that we can't be active and really be involved. And that's one of the things that I admire, like you, about what both Cheryl and Dr. Pamela do. They show that they're not going to just nothing wrong with those who want to sit on a rocking chair, but they're not just going to sit in a rocking chair. They're going to be active, and I think they're probably going to be active all the way up until it's time to go to the next dimension. That's just my personal feelings from being in space with these two ladies and some of their other friends as well. So that's just something that I have always admired about them and others as also.
Totally. That's what it's all about. And then just seeing the joy at the end of the choreography, watching them move in them chairs. it just brings tears to your eyes, because we had actually performed at the veteran organization, me and my brother did. And when I taught the ladies soul power so that they can get up and do it with me to surprise Tony, the ones in the scooters and wheelchairs was watching us practice. They've learned the steps mentally, and when we got out there and performed, you could see the people in the little chairs footwork moving like we were moving, because I had already taught them a few chair dances. So just seeing that is just so enlightening, because that's what you're really born to do. I'm a kinetic girl. I like to be there and show you the steps and let you know where you're stepping off wrong. Virtual is fun, but ain't nothing like the real thing. And I had kind of been telling Patty that when they have events or they're doing local stuff, reach out, let me know, because we got dancers right there in Cincinnati, and these are steppers and ones that are big movers and shakers, and no problem for them to come and be up. You're gonna do this song, boom, we'll be right there behind you rocking out the dance. And to have that is going to be so much different than, you know, seeing people fluently moving right, left, up and back, than to see people that just regular dance to a beat. It's a whole different atmosphere. And
well, ladies, it's been an amazing show. We want you guys to come back. As always, thank you, Mark. Awesome production today. We're going to give you guys the big screen, and we're going to get off for a minute, give you the last word. And for everybody out there, remember, we've been showing all the information on the bottom. Please, there's banners. There's a lot of information that you will find if you just Google Funk Not Fight. If you Google National Women Veteran United, NWVU Chicago. If you Google, you know, I'm going to put it on the screen right now so you guys can check it out. You know, www.imwoc.org. And, of course, our national brand that we're doing with Patty and Boosie Collins. Thank you, big brother, big sister. Funk Not Fight. All the Club Funketeer ambassadors and Club Funketeer members around the world, we salute you, because you guys work tirelessly. You work endlessly to keep the funk alive. Also, shout out to the doctor, Dr. Funkenstein. Happy funky birthday. And if I may, we love to funk you, Funkenstein. Your funk is the best, because take my body and give it to mine to funk with the rest. Hit me with the one and then, if you like, hit me again. We love you, Funkenstein. Dr. Funkenstein, y'all. See, we know, George. We got you, bro.
Hey, Zach, just really quickly, I know you're going to give it to the ladies and everything, but don't forget that on tomorrow, we do have the show with the folks there in Ohio. So that'll be here on the network and everything. And I did hear Dr. Pamela's comment and everything, and I would agree. So maybe at some point we can have a conversation with Cheryl, and maybe Nine on the Grind can offer that platform
of
that
course
they are saying that they want and everything. So I think that would be something we need to have a conversation about, to maybe have a performance of dance here on our network and everything.
You know what, Mark? You read my mind, because I'm reading the comments, and I think when we decide on what day it can be, we've already got enough in the can. So you can just keep adding more Cheryl and Dr. Pamela, and we can pick out a day, a time. Ain't gonna cost you nothing. Then you come on the network, Nine on the Grind TV, and you know, we just run them, we loop them, and put it on YouTube. You know, and kind of get it all in one spot. You know, because things change so much. You know, every week it's something else. And right now, the hot thing is reels and short stories. Nobody's really looking at long Facebook pages anymore. I don't know why, but that's just where we are. So John Marshall, Harlan, 50th class reunion, Dr. Pamela A. Wilson, and, you know, U.S. Army Chaplain Corps, Funk Please Not Fight. I'm loving all of this, because these comments that I'm reading to you are coming in my private chat by Dr. Wilson. She's typing away, multitasking. I'm going to give you ladies the last. I got to get them in, yo. I'm going to get everyone in. Funk, please. Exclamation, not fight. I'm going to get them all in, Doc. We're going to give you ladies the big screen, Mark. Thank you. I'm getting ready to get you off. You can get yourself off, and I'm going to get off. And we're going to let you ladies take us home a little bit.
What an honor it was, Zach, to do this show. It is a fitting fight right here to not fight. So let's continue the fun. Cheryl, thanks for this platform.
Absolutely, sister. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Coach Ron Wilson. I am the brother of Global Dance Ambassador Cheryl Woodhouse, the brother of the Funk Not Fight Campaign Ambassador, Dr. Pamela Wilson, the brother of young James Brown, Tony Wilson. What do I give a funk about? I give a funk about training young students to become great athletes. I give a funk about women in sports. Shout out to Monica Griffin, one of my female wrestlers that made it for the second consecutive year to the state tournament. I give a funk about women being the best they can be, like the men. I give a funk about children that want to be and become star athletes. I give a funk about family supporting each other. So tell me, what do you give a funk about? What do you give a funk about? What do you give?
You ladies have the full screen, so I want you to go ahead and take us out so we can get out of here. I love you. Ladies have the full screen.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you again so much for allowing us to come. Dr. Wilson, for always being there for me, as well as everyone in my family. I appreciate all the line dancers across the globe, from Shawana to Angela Green to Danita Moses, to every last one of them that always grind with us and make sure that they can help bring the funk. No matter where we go in life, the funk is always going to be with us. Whether we funking it out or we fighting it out, we're going to always get to the center core. And the center core is to find your true self and to bring others along. What you think, sister?
I totally agree. And I think all of that starts in your home. So don't forget where you came from. You cannot help others unless you help yourself. And when you're able to do that, you have more energy and drive to help others. It's all about self-efficacy. It's all about self-esteem. How do we build it? You do that by getting into your family and understanding that the structure is there to protect you. So you go out and you help protect others. Let's funk, not fight. What do you say, sister?
Absolutely. And I hope we can continue that on. To all the line dancers, all the ambassadors out there, anybody wanting to be a Club Funketeer ambassador, reach out to us, inbox us, let us bring you on and bring your funk to us, whether it's line dance, whether it's stepping, whether it's ballroom, whether it's crunking, whether it's hip hop, and the skaters. Let's not forget the skaters, because they definitely bring the love. And when I say skaters, I can envision the funk band funking and the little space for the skaters to just do their little wibble wobble around, y'all. That would just be so awesome. I mean, we see so many visions that can happen, and we would love to bring that funk to you guys. So thank you, Zach, for allowing us to come and start the funk with you. Looking forward to you guys seeing more of the funk in different genres. So dancers, let's do it.
Let's do it. And before we get out of here, shout out to my producer, Mr. Mark Lee, everybody that was so active on the chat line. We love you guys. JTRP, P-Funk Radio, Gabe Gonzalez on Wednesday nights, DJ Godzilla, my man Philly Phil, get on the Funk Bus on Tuesdays. I love you, Coach Larry Funkster Jones on Saturdays, Robin Circular P, and all my Funketeers down there in Texas. George the Funkavinci, hang on. I'm going to be with you in about another 10 minutes. HJ Entertainment, K&M Jams, and OCMC Entertainment, my man Diego, my management company here. Also, Nappyhead Funk Army, Afterglow 92416, Tony Cam and the Funk All-Stars. Can't wait to work with you guys when we do the Funk School for the Kids. We're building bridges. Q&A Entertainment, Brooke Cladgett, my Funk Angel. I'll see you at the Funketeers Ball. Pat Diori, Aquarius Rising Art, Curtis Wilcox, and George the Funkavinci. All the artwork and a lot of my branding that you see comes from them. Dr. Brookenstein, I love you, David. You're the man that takes care of our website. Since we were founded since 1998, you've been with us. DJ Coccolino and Elisabetta. DJ Coccolino in Italy. And Elizabetta in Ireland, thank you for always playing Nappy Head Funk Army music. My main guy, Funk Chronicles, David Webb, and we run his show every Sunday at 3 o'clock, and we're going to be doing the Nappy Head Funk Army induction type ceremony coming up soon. Thank you, Funk Hall of Fame, for that date in Ohio, and all the people out there supporting Funk from the Front Seat. Thank you. We love you. It's been a great show, ladies. Hey, get out of here. Who do we want? Funk, that's right. Y'all know how you do it, right? Repeat that. Say funk. That's right. Everybody say funk. That's right. South Carolina, thank you. North Carolina, thank you. Virginia, Ohio, Brenda, Bootsy Patty, thank you. Happy birthday, Dr. Funkenstein in Florida. I love you. What's up, Carolina? We got to get you all on the show. Come on, George. I need you, man. Come on. Bay Shore, Long Island, Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens, Tufross, Far Rock. We got you, Manhattan.
The Mothership Connection is landed, ladies and gentlemen.
Say what? The Mothership Connection, New Jersey, Plainfield, we got you.
Along with P-Funk.
What's up, Donna? Give me a call. Pennsylvania, Funky Philadelphia, we got you.
Warner Brothers, pick them up. Spread them out there. United States.
Oklahoma, Texas, we got you. H-Town, we got you. Clap your hands, man.
Introducing, ladies and gentlemen,
All nothing but the funk. Nevada, we got you. All Washington State, we got you. Portland, Oregon, we got you. Portland, South Dakota, we got you. Puerto Rico, we got you. Hawaii, we got you. I said Samoan. Doing the Humpty Hump, we got you. Tokyo, Young Hasego, we got you. China, Japan, Dubai, Africa. Oh, here we go. North and South Pole, we got you. Y'all know how we roll. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Bootsy. All around the world for the fun. What's up, Mark Lee? Where you at? Where you at? Get in here, bro. Get some of this fun. Oh yeah, don't it feel good? England, Germany, Italy, we got you. Popolino, Ireland, Elizabeth, we got you. What's up, Boo? Love you. Stay safe on your trip, all right? Man, I'm ready to go to a concert right now. Hey, shout out Mama Sandy. Shout out Ben. Everybody that won the spread today, we love you. Oh yeah. Peru, we got you, Puma Puso. Russia, Ukraine, Haiti, Jamaica, folks, we got you. Dominican Republic, we got you.
Take all of it. A couple other shout outs. We got Mark Mallory over here. Mark Mallory said hello to you. And there's Roger Brown. I think you have a family shout out.
We love y'all, man. Not fight. Don't hurt him, Bootsy. Happy birthday, George. We love to funk you, Funkenstein. Your funk is the best. Take my body and give it to mine to funk with the rest. And you be with the one and then. If you like it, me, Just get you inside. More trip, man. You got it. Funk from the front seat of the party. Y'all have a great day. Don't forget, we need you in that purple today, y'all. It's been a fantastic show, another great week. And I want to bring it down, make it mellow. And what I'm going to tell you is this. Funk, not fight. Peppermint Patty is beaming in next Saturday. So that's going to be a special show as we close out Funk, Not Fight Month right here on Funk from the Front Seat. Always on 9 on the Grind TV. Follow us on YouTube. Hit my pages. I'll try to get back to you as much as I can. Just know that we love you guys. You're very important to us. You're special to us. And everything you do out there makes a difference. So remember, wise choices. Take your time and think about it. And whatever you do, do it right. And remember, funk, not fight. Let's get out of here, Mark. Thank you, ladies.
No problem. Getting ready to get on out of here. So big shout out to Nurse Rhoda Brown, the Chaplain Corps, and also to one of the other ones that I saw as well, Young James Brown. So we can.
What up, Tony?
Yep. And also Mark Mallory. But yeah.
Oh, my man Mark. What up, Detroit's in the house, bro? What up, bro? I see you at the ball, man. We'll talk.
Hey, it looks like Dr. Pamela Wilson also said Esther 4:14 for such a time as this. Couldn't agree more with that.
And so, shout out to your brother, man. Firefighter and all that good stuff, man. See, it's all about the giving. That's why I love being around y'all. You know, you guys are just make me happy.
You all
like
are
that
awesome.
says, funk not fight.